Kino Casino sucks. Long live Kino Dogme 2007. This one goes out to the soul of Andy Jr. Rest in peace. All right, strap yourselves in because we are going deep into some seriously messy internet drama today.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the Kino Casino?
Of course.
That online show hosted by Andy Worski and PPP?
Right.
Well, get this. Some leaked info from their private Discord has sent shockwaves through the internet.
Wow.
We're talking secret Vegas trips, wild parties, and a whole lot of revelations that have left people speechless.
I can only imagine.
It's crazy. And what's really fascinating here is that these leaks kind of give us like a peek behind the curtain of online content creation.
Yeah.
See the relationships between creators like Andy Worski and PPP, their interactions with fans,
Yeah.
and, well, the chaos that can erupt when things go off the rails.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, things went way off the rails in this case.
I bet.
To help us break down this digital dumpster fire, we've got our expert here who has been meticulously combing through the threads on Kiwi Farms where this whole saga unfolded.
Okay.
So,
Kiwi Farms is an online forum known for its, shall we say, dedicated documentation of internet personalities and controversies.
right.
It's often ground zero for these kinds of deep dives into online drama.
Exactly. Okay, so for those of us who don't spend our days lurking in the depths of internet forums,
Right.
can you set the stage for us? What exactly was leaked and who were the key players in this whole mess?
Well, the leaks originated from private Discord messages and information revealed by people who were once close to Andy Worski and PPP.
Okay.
The real catalyst for this whole chaotic situation. A Vegas trip funded by a wealthy fan who goes by the name Metalcore Masochist.
Metalcore Masochist.
Yeah.
The name itself sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Uh-huh.
So what went down in Vegas?
This wasn't your typical trip to the Strip.
Okay.
Imagine this. A suite at the Bellagio overflowing with, shall we say, entertainment of the adult variety.
Okay.
And Metalcore Masochist, the generous benefactor, footing the bill for it all.
Wait, hold on. Are we talking about what I think we're talking about?
Let's just say that the leaks paint a picture of a wild weekend involving Worski, some dedicated fans, and a group of, as the leaks describe them, mannish black hookers.
Mannish black hookers. Okay, that's a detail I did not see coming.
Yeah.
And what about PPP? What was his role in all of this?
From what we can gather, PPP was present,
Okay.
but he didn't actively participate.
Oh, wow.
He was more of an observer, which, given the circumstances, is almost weirder than actually joining in.
Wow, just picturing PPP awkwardly standing there watching all this unfold is a truly bizarre image.
Yeah.
But okay, back to Metalcore Masochist, the pay pig extraordinaire.
Right.
How did his identity even get revealed in the first place? You'd think someone willing to bankroll that kind of party would be a little more careful about their privacy.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But it seems Andy Worski made a bit of an OPSEC blunder during a live stream.
Oh, no.
He accidentally leaked Metalcore Masochist's phone number.
Oh, my God.
And while the internet sleuths were off to the races...
A classic case of loose lips sinking ships. Or in this case, exposing a very expensive and very private Vegas party.
Yeah.
So what happened next? Did they track this guy down?
Oh, they absolutely did.
Wow.
It wasn't long before they connected the phone number to social media profiles across various platforms, including, of all places, Funny Junk.
Funny Junk. I haven't heard that name in years. I thought that website went the way of the dodo.
Apparently not.
Wow.
And this is where things take a truly strange turn.
Okay.
You see, Metalcore Masochist had crafted this online persona of a generous, almost saintly supporter of the Kino Casino.
Okay.
But his Funny Junk activity painted a very different picture.
Oh, no. Don't tell me. We're talking some kind of deep, dark internet secret.
Let's just say he had a very specific and very public fascination with certain niches of adult content.
Okay, we're dealing with a connoisseur of the unconventional.
Yeah.
And he was posting about this openly while publicly supporting the Kino Casino.
Seemingly without a care in the world.
Wow.
And remember, this is all happening while he's married.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be his wife when those news articles started popping up.
Yeah.
So how did the Kiwi Farms crowd react to all this? I can only imagine the frenzy.
It was pure internet mayhem.
Yeah.
Amusement, mockery, disbelief.
Right.
You name it. They were feeling it.
I mean, who can blame them?
Yeah.
This whole thing is like a real-life soap opera,
Yeah.
but with way more niche content.
Exactly.
But, jokes aside, this has to have some serious implications for the Kino Casino.
Absolutely. This
Yeah.
isn't just a bit of gossip.
Right.
It has the potential to seriously damage their reputation, especially for Andy Worski.
Right.
After all, he was the one directly involved in the more, shall we say, hands-on aspects of the Vegas trip.
And let's not forget the awkwardness of continuing to accept donations from Medicare masochists after all of this came to light.
Right.
It's like thanking your creepy uncle for that Christmas check after you found his.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it puts them in a very difficult position.
Yeah.
Do they cut ties with their biggest financial backer, someone who's clearly quite attached to them?
Yeah.
Or do they risk alienating a large part of their audience who are now privy to Medicare masochists' eccentricities?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Talk about a rock and a hard place.
Huh?
This whole situation really highlights the risks of online fame and the unexpected consequences that can come with it.
It certainly does.
Yeah, and it raises some interesting questions about parasocial relationships,
Yeah.
the blurry lines between public and private life,
Right.
and the power dynamics at play in the world of online content creation.
For sure.
So we've got leaked messages, a wild Vegas party, a pay pig with a secret life, and a whole lot of questions about the future of the Kino Casino.
Yeah, a lot to unpack.
Where do we even go from here?
Well, next we'll dive deeper into the fallout from these leaks, the impact on both the Kino Casino and the individuals involved, and explore the broader cultural context of this whole crazy situation.
Stay with us, folks. We're just getting started.
Welcome back.
Before we went to break, we were discussing the fallout from these Kino Casino leaks and the impact on the show and everyone involved.
It's wild to think about how these leaks completely flipped the script. The Kino Casino built its brand on being these ex-law cows.
Right.
These reformed figures from the often chaotic world of internet personalities. Now they're the ones caught in the drama.
Exactly. And it's not just about the salacious details of the Vegas trip, though. Those are certainly grabbing headlines.
Yeah.
It's about the dissonance between the image they've cultivated and the reality exposed by these leaks. They've built a career on poking fun at the drama and misfortunes of others.
Right.
And now they're facing their own very public, very messy drama.
Yeah.
It's like the universe has a sense of irony, doesn't it?
It certainly seems that way. And it raises questions about their authenticity.
Yeah.
Are they really these reformed characters they present themselves to be? Or are they still entangled in the same cycles of drama and exploitation they claim to have left behind?
It's a tough situation. It seems like a lot of their audience enjoys the drama, even if it comes at the expense of the hosts. Now those lines are blurred.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell where the performance ends and the reality begins.
That's a crucial point. This situation exposes the complicated dynamic between creators and their fans,
Yeah.
particularly in this corner of the internet. There's this element of, for lack of a better term, schadenfreude,
Okay.
taking pleasure in other people's misfortunes. And these leaks, in a way, cater to that.
Right. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. You know, you shouldn't stare, but you can't look away. And let's be honest, a lot of the content on the Kino Casino plays into that same impulse.
Yes, and that's partly what makes this so intriguing. It's not just about the shocking details of the Vegas trip.
Right.
It's about the power dynamics, the blurry lines between entertainment and exploitation,
Yeah.
and how these leaks force us to confront our own role as spectators.
Wow. That's deep. It's easy to get caught up in the gossip and the memes, but there are real people involved here, and their lives are being impacted by this.
Absolutely. And it's crucial to remember that behind the amusement and the jokes,
Right.
there are real consequences for everyone involved.
Of course.
Medicare masochist's life, for example,
Yeah.
has been turned upside down.
Yeah.
His privacy has been violated, his marriage is likely strained, and his online persona is irrevocably tarnished.
Yeah, no kidding. Talk about a fall from grace.
Yeah.
He went from generous benefactor to the internet's biggest laughingstock in the blink of an eye.
It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of parasocial relationships and the illusion of intimacy that the internet can create.
Yeah.
Medicare masochist clearly felt a strong connection to Warski and PPP,
Okay.
to the point where he was willing to spend extravagant amounts of money to be a part of their world.
I guess he took the whole fan thing to a whole new level. It's a reminder that online personas are just that, personas.
Right.
They rarely reflect the full complexity of a person.
Exactly. And when that illusion is shattered, as it inevitably is, it can be a jarring experience for everyone involved.
So what about the other participants in this Vegas extravaganza? Were their identities revealed as well?
While Medicare masochist was the primary target of the internet sleuths,
Okay.
a few other participants were also identified, including a young man who was, according to the leaks, a virgin prior to the trip.
Wait, seriously? A virgin? What kind of bachelor party was this?
Well, according to the leaked messages, This young man required a bit of assistance from Andy Worski to, shall we say, complete the experience.
You're telling me Andy Worski acted as a sex coach for Virgin in the middle of a Vegas orgy? This whole thing just keeps getting weirder and weirder.
It certainly does, and it raises a lot of ethical questions about the power dynamics at play, the blurring of boundaries between creators and fans,
Right.
and the potential for exploitation.
It's definitely not your typical meet and greet.
Yeah.
But okay, let's get back to the bigger picture.
Right.
What does all of this mean for the future of the Kino Casino? Can they recover from this?
That's the million-dollar question. It's possible that their core audience, who are perhaps more accustomed to the wild and often offensive nature of online content,
Yeah.
will shrug this off as just another chapter in the saga of internet absurdity.
Right, they might see it as just another crazy story to add to the legend of the Kino Casino.
Precisely. But for a wider audience, this could be the scandal that irreparably damages their reputation.
Especially for Andy Worski. I mean, he was the one who accidentally leaked the phone number and was reportedly involved in, well, everything else.
Exactly. And it puts PPP in a difficult position as well.
Yeah?
Does he distance himself from Worski, or does he stand by his co-host,
Right.
potentially alienating a significant portion of their audience?
And then there's the issue of Medicare masochist. Do they continue accepting donations from him after all of this?
Yeah,
It would be incredibly awkward, to say the least.
indeed. They're facing a PR nightmare, and it will be interesting to see how they navigate this situation. Their choices could have lasting consequences for their careers and the future of the Kino Casino.
So ultimately, the fate of the show rests on how they respond to this crisis.
Yes, and how the audience reacts. It's a fascinating case study in the volatility of online fame and the unpredictable nature of internet culture.
All right, so we've covered the leaks, the fallout, and the potential consequences for everyone involved. But this whole thing seems to tap into something bigger, something about online culture and the way we interact with each other in the digital age.
Absolutely. These leaks are a symptom of a larger trend we're seeing online, a blurring of the lines between public and private life,
Okay.
a growing obsession with online personalities, and the rise of parasocial relationships.
It's like the internet has become this giant stage where everyone is performing,
Yeah.
and it's getting harder and harder to distinguish the genuine
Yeah.
from the carefully constructed facade.
That's a great way to put it. And the Kino Casino leaks, in a way, pull back the curtain on that performance, revealing the often messy and complicated reality behind it.
Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more.
Yeah.
How do these leaks connect to these bigger issues?
Well, consider the rise of influencer culture. We live in a world where people build massive followings and often fortunes
Right.
by sharing their lives online.
Right.
And naturally, fans become invested in these personalities,
Okay.
their stories, their relationships.
It's like we're all watching a never-ending reality show, constantly refreshing our feeds for the latest drama, the latest confession, the latest glimpse into the lives of these online stars.
Precisely. And this creates a sense of intimacy,
Yeah.
a feeling that we know these people,
Uh-huh.
even though our interactions are often limited to likes, comments, and the occasional donation.
Right.
This is where those parasocial relationships come into play.
Right. It's that feeling that you know someone because you watch their videos or follow them on social media. But as we've seen with the Kino Casino leaks, that feeling can be incredibly misleading.
Exactly. The leaks, in a sense, shatter the illusion of that relationship, revealing the often stark contrast between the curated online persona
Right.
and the messy, complicated reality behind it. Metalcore Masochist, for example, presented himself as this generous benefactor, this pillar of the Kino Casino community. But the leaks exposed a very different side to him.
Oh, yeah.
One that was, shall we say, less palatable to mainstream sensibilities.
And that's the thing, isn't it? We often project our own desires,
Yeah.
our own fantasies onto these online figures. We build them up in our minds, ignoring the fact that they're flawed, complex human beings just like the rest of us. And when that illusion is broken, whether through leaks, scandals, or simply the passage of time, it can be a jarring, even painful experience.
It's like that moment when you realize the magician isn't actually making things disappear, it's all smoke and mirrors.
Right.
And in the age of social media, those smoke and mirrors are becoming increasingly sophisticated, making it even harder to distinguish the genuine from the carefully constructed facade.
So how do we navigate this digital landscape without falling prey to the pitfalls of parasocial relationships, online personas, and the constant bombardment of information? Do we just become cynical hermits and avoid engaging with anyone online?
That's certainly one approach, but I wouldn't recommend it. The internet, for all its flaws, can be a powerful tool for connection,
Right.
community, and even personal growth. It's about cultivating a healthy sense of skepticism,
Hmm.
about recognizing that what we see online is often a curated,
Yeah.
edited,
Hmm.
and often idealized version of reality.
So basically don't believe everything you see on the internet.
Yeah,
Seems like good advice in general.
precisely. And remember that online personalities, even the ones we admire,
Right.
are not our friends, our therapists, or role models. They are entertainers.
Right.
And while it's fine to enjoy their content, to engage with them online,
Yeah.
it's important to maintain healthy boundaries. Don't invest too much of yourself emotionally or financially in someone you only know through a screen.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Mm.
But I think that's a good place to take a break. We'll be right back to wrap up this deep dive into the Kino Casino leaks.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were discussing how these Kino Casino leaks highlight some of the broader trends we're seeing in online culture, the blurring of public and private lives, the rise of influencer culture, and the complexities of parasocial relationships.
Right. It's so easy to get caught up in the drama and the gossip. But it's important to step back and look at the bigger picture. What did these leaks tell us about ourselves, about the way we consume content, and about the evolving relationship between creators and fans?
That's the core question, isn't it? The Kino Casino leaks, in a way, act as a kind of digital Rorschach test. They force us to confront our own relationship with online personalities' fandom and this increasingly blurred line between the public and private spheres.
Okay, I'm following you. Break it down for me. How do these leaks connect to these larger issues?
Well, think about it. We live in a world where people build massive online followings, sometimes even fortunes, by sharing their lives, their thoughts, their experiences with the world. And as their audience grows, so too does the investment from their fans.
It's like we're all characters in this giant, ongoing reality show, constantly refreshing our feeds for the latest update, the latest confession, the latest glimpse into the lives of these online figures.
Exactly, and this creates this illusion of intimacy, the sense that we know these people, even though our interactions are mostly limited to likes, comments, and the occasional donation.
Which brings us back to that concept of the parasocial relationship. We develop these one-sided bonds with people we see on screens, often projecting our own desires and fantasies onto them.
Precisely, and the Kino Casino leaks, in a sense, shatter that illusion. They expose the often stark contrast between the carefully curated online persona and the messy, complicated reality behind it.
Like with Metacore Masochist, he presented this image of himself as this generous, supportive figure in the Kino Casino community. But the leaks revealed a much different side to him, a side that didn't quite align with that public image.
Exactly, and that disconnect can be jarring for both the fans and the creators involved. It's a reminder that everyone, even those we admire online, has secrets, has flaws, has a life that exists outside the carefully curated frame of their online presence.
It's like realizing that the magician isn't actually making things disappear. It's all smoke and mirrors carefully constructed to create an illusion.
A very apt analogy, and in the age of social media, those smoke and mirrors are becoming increasingly sophisticated, making it even harder to distinguish the genuine from the carefully crafted facade.
So where does that leave us? How do
Yeah.
you navigate this online world, this landscape of curated personalities and parasocial relationships, without losing ourselves in the illusion?
It's a challenge for sure, but I think it starts with cultivating a healthy sense of skepticism. Remember that what you see online is often a carefully edited, often idealized version of reality. Don't take everything at face value.
So basically, don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Exactly. And remember that online personalities, even those we admire or feel connected to, are not our friends, our therapists, or our role models. They are entertainers. And while it's perfectly fine to enjoy their content, to engage with them online, it's crucial to maintain a healthy distance.
Don't get so caught up in the illusion that you lose sight of the reality.
Exactly. The Kino Casino leaks serve as a stark reminder of that.
Well, folks, there you have it. The Kino Casino leaks. A wild ride through the underbelly of internet culture, a story of betrayal, leaked messages, and a very expensive Vegas party.
Yeah.
But beyond the salacious details, this saga raises important questions about the nature of online fame, the complexities of parasocial relationships, and the increasingly blurred lines between our public and private lives.
It's a story that forces us to confront our own online habits, the personas we create, the relationships we form, and the illusions we often embrace in the digital age.
So next time you find yourself scrolling through your feed, remember the Kino Casino leaks, and ask yourself, are you seeing the whole picture or just the carefully curated version someone wants you to see?
And always remember, in the world of the internet, not all that glitters is gold.
That's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.
Google presents Kiwi Farms is a deep well of weirdness and wonder.
And we've only just dipped our toes in.
So go check them out on YouTube.
Seriously, you won't regret it.
They're the real deal.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Until next time, stay curious, stay weird, and keep exploring.
Bye, everyone.
Children get raped.
Whoa.